Welcome to our lesson on speciation. The key questions for today are: how did the work of Darwin and Wallace impact the understanding of biology? What was Wallace's theory? What is speciation? How does speciation occur? How do you know if two organisms are different species? The key words you will need to know are natural selection, speciation, separation, evolution, fertile. Alfred Russel Wallace was a naturalist like Darwin, and he also proposed the theory of evolution by natural selection. Wallace produced scientific journals with Darwin in 1858, which prompted Darwin to publish On the Origin of Species the following year. Wallace is best known for studying warning coloration in animals, and through this he gathered much evidence for evolution, particularly speciation. Speciation is when a new species develops after some organisms are separated and isolated from the rest of the species by geographical means. The isolated organisms may develop differently to their counterparts due to differing environments, and eventually become so different that they are a different species. This means that they would no longer be able to breed and produce fertile offspring. Wallace found that butterflies evolved to have different colours and patterns in different places, even though they came from the same common ancestor. Task: answer this AQA exam question. The diagram below shows the evolutionary tree for some Galapagos finches. A. Which type of present-day finch is least closely related to all the others? B. Which branching point, P, Q, R or S on the diagram above, shows the most recent common ancestor of all the tree finches? Answer: A. The vegetarian finch is the least closely related, as the common ancestor is much further back in time. B. R is the common ancestor of all of the tree finches. Isolation can result in the formation of a new species, especially if two groups of the same species are separated and the environments become different. This is the case seen with the Galapagos tortoise. The different types of tortoise seen today all evolved from one type of tortoise that was blown over to the Galapagos Islands on rafts during a storm. The tortoises all ended up on different islands that had slightly different vegetation. Over time, the shell shapes changed to give a saddleback shell, a domed shell, and an intermediate shell shape. Those with a domed shell ate food near the ground and had shorter neck and limbs. Those with a saddle-shaped shell ate food that was higher up, so it was an advantage to have a flatter shell and longer, more mobile neck. So these are the characteristics that evolved in these tortoises. Over generations, the tortoise populations on each island became more and more different until they were no longer the same species. This can occur in many different places when a population becomes separated because of geographical features such as rivers, mountains, or the sea. Due to the different environments present, the groups can evolve differently due to natural selection. This means that certain characteristics suit the different environments. So, over time, different characteristics are passed on. Task: describe how a population of foxes trapped on an island due to rising sea levels could develop into a new species that is different from the foxes on the mainland. The two ancestral populations of fox are separated by the sea. Due to genetic variation within the species and the different environments, the favourable characteristics may be different for each area. Through natural selection, those individuals with the favourable characteristics will pass on their characteristics, and over many generations, a new species may arise. Those with the desirable characteristics are more likely to survive and breed, passing on their genes. Extension: answer this question from an AQA exam paper. Figure 2 shows two species of ground squirrel, W and X. Squirrel W lives on the high ground to the south of the Grand Canyon. Squirrel X lives on the high ground to the north of the Grand Canyon. The land to the north of the Grand Canyon is about 300 meters higher than the land on the south side. The north side also has lower winter temperatures and has more rain and snow than the south side. Squirrels W and X are separate species, but they are still very similar. Suggest why the two species have not become more different over time. The environments, food sources, predators and temperatures on both sides of the Grand Canyon are very similar. So the squirrels have evolved in a very similar way, as favourable characteristics in one population would be the same in the other.